got a first-hand look at the devastation immediately afterward. Like retired Indiana, Michigan lineman Ellie Gall. For him, the day still brings back powerful memories.
60 years later? Wow. Michigan, Indiana Power Man. Wow, Lyman from Indiana, Michigan Power. Wow. Indiana, Michigan Power been for over 60 years. Wow. I'm watching something about the Palm Sunday tornado that happened over 60 years ago. Indiana, Michigan Power. Indiana and Michigan Power lineman. This is 60 years later. The Palm Sunday tornado, 60 years later. April 11th, 1965. Courtesy of Indiana, Michigan Power. Wow. Michigan, Indiana Power. Not much, not much. Yes, watching a special thing on WSPT 22 about the Palm Sunday tornado 60 years later. It's been on for a little bit, so I'm watching it. I'm reacting to it because I've not seen this before.
Coming up, how one small St. Joseph County town keeps the memory
Wyatt,
of the Palm
Indiana.
Sunday tornado outbreak alive. Plus,
Yeah,
meteorologist Abby Wepler tracks the outbreak hour by hour.
I don't see anything hit Michigan because this is pretty bad. It happened. This happened. So yeah, I'm right now watching WSPT online right now of the Palm Sunday tornado. So yeah, 40,000 videos. That's surprising. 40,000 videos on YouTube. 7.5 years. 40,000 videos. Let's see. Let me think. Here's here. October, November, December, January, March, February. Yep, about 7.5 years now. And right now we're just relaxing watching this. Oh, that sucks. I hate doing that. Yeah, well, I can't believe though. 40,000 videos, and we're just doing this for fun. That's all we're doing right now. Oh, I need to get something. I need to get my. I got something new coming to the. I got something new for the train set. It doesn't match the train set, but I don't care. I bought it for a sport train set. But. Oh. Yeah, well, I got some stuff that's going to be going onto the train set. I'm going to work on version 10 of the train set later on this week, and I got some stuff ready for it. That's all I'm going to say. But yep, yes, just relaxing, having fun. That's about all I'm doing right now. Just having a little bit of fun. Just trying to figure out what you do for 40,000 subscribers. I have 40,000 videos on YouTube. 40,000 videos on YouTube. And we're almost at 2,000 subscribers, so that's not bad at all. That's quite good. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what I should do still. So yeah, just killing some time right now, having some fun, seeing what I can do to make it a little bit more easier to do this work. But yeah, you just killed it. 40,000 videos, and that's it. No, I don't. I don't post like every 10 minutes. I make pre-record videos. I mean, live streams. I do live streams, and I pre-record videos in the morning, or a few days prior. Then I upload them to YouTube at a certain time. That's what I usually do. Here we go.
In St. Joseph County, the small town
Indiana.
of Wyatt was left devastated by the
Wyatt, Indiana.
tornadoes. WSBT 22's Cicely Porter talked with a man who was just 10 years old when that storm hit. He recalls the day not only for its devastation, but also for the miracles that shaped his life's purpose.
Okay. Wyatt, Indiana.
In 1965 is a day in this town many will never forget.
I've been to Wyatt. It's a nice little community.
Extended far beyond the storm. It's a day Bob Sauer says is etched in his memory. He vividly recalls huddling with his family in his grandparents' home as the tornado bore down.
I remember my dad and my grandpa both shaking their heads and going, well, there goes Kelly's place.
As the storm intensified, Bob watched in disbelief.
And I remember looking up and saw the house come up about 6 inches off of the foundation, and then it set right back down. And, I mean, it seemed like an eternity, but I mean, it was a matter of just minutes.
The tornado tore through Wyatt, leaving the small town nearly unrecognizable. Bob's childhood home, gone.
There was nothing. Nothing left.
Just as they thought the worst had passed, another warning came. The town gathered in shelter, united by fear and hope.
Everybody, women and children, climbed inside the bank vault. And we sat through which seemed like for an eternity.
Amid the destruction, there were miracles. No lives were lost, and days later, a beloved family member was found.
But the miracles, I mean, that there was not loss of life. We found our dog like 5 days later.
Bob went on to work with FEMA and the Red Cross, responding to disasters across the country. The tornado, instead of haunting his life, providing it with purpose. I'm meteorologist Abby Weckler in Lake Cicely.
Oh wow, one actually hit Michigan.
That tornado, of course, from Wyatt, but when we look at the big picture, tornado,
None 3 rivers, only Coldwater.
So I'm going to take you through the different tornado tracks for us here locally, not necessarily in the time frame of which they started, but to make it easier, go west to east. So of course we're going to go from Porter over to LaPorte County. That start time there was 6:10. The rating there was an F3. Those are wind speeds about 135 to 165 miles per hour. With this particular track, there were 0 fatalities or injuries, but now we're going to go farther east. This, of course, was the tornado that Cicely was talking about. Coons Lake making its way through Marshall County into St. Joe County, ending in Elkhart County. Look at this, the rating again, that F3, those are wind speeds 135 to 165 miles per hour. The path length, 35.6 miles. 10 people died. 82 injuries, but this is the one I think many remember. And I'm going to step out.
Millbury, it's not that far from here.
In Elkhart, which is now considered the twin tornadoes. The first one, the one in the south, that's
Millbury's a hop and a skip from here. It's across the line.
Was right around 6:15.
There's White Pigeon.
Those are winds
Right on the line.
that are 165 to 200 miles per hour. You can see that path length with 21
F4s.
31 fatalities, 252 injuries, but then it joined up with this one, of course, starting at 7:10, another F4 tornado. This one right here, 37 miles, 36 fatalities, injuries over 320. You see how they met, and then they made their way over into LaGrange County. As we look at LaGrange County, this one then made its way into Steuben at 6:40. This is also
near Sturgis.
rating. Wind speeds again, 165 to 200 miles per hour. Path length of this particular storm was 21.6 miles. 5 people were injured, or 5 people were killed, 41 injured. So you can see, of course, with the scope of this, the number of fatalities in the dozens, the injuries in the hundreds. There have been memorials set up across the area to honor those victims, and with more on that Here's WSBT meteorologist Lynette Grant.
Wow.
The memorial for the Palm Sunday tornadoes sits on the land that used to be owned by the family of Debbie Waters. Her family's life was turned upside down from that tornado, but in the chaos that followed, the memorial brought a sense of peace and closure. Debbie Waters embraced being the little sister. Waters, 11-year-old Mike and 10-year-old Stevie helped her grow up. When the Palm Sunday tornadoes touched down in Elkhart County, 6-year-old Waters had to grow up very quickly.
And you couldn't see, and you really couldn't hear much. But I did hear Stevie yell for mom.
Stevie would not survive the tornado. In the weeks to follow, Waters' father no longer wanted the land where their house once stood. A neighbor purchased the property, but her father eventually bought it back. 34 years after the tornado, an idea struck. Turn the exact spot into a memorial.
I don't want that day to ever be forgotten. I mean, it's been 60 years now.
The memorial is located on Cole Street in Dunlap. Waters and her family spend days every spring cleaning it up. The first thing visitors will notice here at the memorial is this giant rock. This rock is the exact spot where Debbie Waters' house stood before the tornado. Behind it, you'll see a list of names, victims from that day. Another thing you'll notice, you won't see it, but rather feel, a sense of peace. Waters explains they wanted survivors to come here and find comfort, closure, or whatever they needed. That's why, in her mind, the memorial is just as much for the living as it is for those who passed.
Steve and Mike were 11 months apart. When Stevie died, it was like part of Mike died too.
It can take years to work through the emotions and memories from a tragic event like these tornadoes. For Debbie and her family, this memorial brought everyone together again.
The memorial is for people to go there and to remember their loved ones that they lost, or to pay respect to the people that maybe they've never met.
Still to come, a look at how WSBT 22 and WSJV covered the Palm Sunday
gonna say-
tornado outbreak as it happened.
You guys bought WSJV. Wait, so it's almost 6 o'clock, okay. I wish I had some. I just need to do this work for doing this channel. And eventually get me 2,000 subscribers and get something else.
After Scott's lung had been reinflated by inserting a metal rod through the right side of his rib cage. Ow.
Why even bother sharing videos if
tornadoes, technology has changed how we cover severe weather threats. But one thing remains the same. WSBT 22 is always at the door when big news breaks. Here's anchor John Paul with the story.
WSBT, WSJV, Fox 28.
First band of the killer tornadoes flashed across the five-county northern Indiana area shortly before nightfall.
Within minutes, a TV announcer says a tornado has been sighted. Then another. And then another.
The tornado outbreak, and there's just no warning at all, was the deadliest in Indiana's history. And much like today,
Well, last night, we're trying to throw everything apart.
crews rushed to hard-hit areas ready to report.
Feels like the pictures of the atomic bomb and
Oh, something trivia reporter.
total devastation.
Jack Colwell, 20-something reporter with the Tribune, will never forget what he saw.
And of course, I was trying to get information, ask people where they were, what they saw. They were aware of anyone who was injured, killed, and that was tough too, because I said they were stunned, they were emotional, but you gotta go and try to get some information.
Eyewitnesses say the tornado terror lasted 15 seconds.
When it came across, it was the loudest roar I ever heard in my life. It was just unbelievable loud, and
WSBT, WSJV.
there was no air.
And when it was all over, only 12 of the 220 mobile homes at Midway Mobile Home Park were left standing.
This was a real mess. Things were flat, but of course they were doing everything they could to look up the debris and find any more bodies because of the number of people that are missing.
The destruction brought President Lyndon B. Johnson to town.
Wow.
Of what you found out back there.
WSBT 22 was also there.
That's very sad. Very sorry that all this happened. All these wonderful people in this good state. We're sorry what's happened, and we want to do anything we can to help.
60 years later, we're still here with better technology and faster warnings, giving you more time to protect your family.
In the midst of unimaginable destruction and death came the helpers. WSBT 22's Bob Montgomery talked with a curator at the Elkhart County Historical Museum about the sense of community in those hardest hit areas. The initial reaction from the community, I think, was just shock at the utter devastation.
Jennifer Blumen Policelli is the curator of education at the Elkhart County Historical Museum in Bristol. While the images of mass destruction...
I've never seen that museum in Bristol. I go to Bristol all the time.
Community support is the legacy of today.
Family that was in the Sunnyside neighborhood, and it was a mother and a father and their 3 teenage sons. And they all gathered in the basement during the storm, and they literally heard their house explode over top of them, and there was dirt raining down on them. It was pitch black for a few seconds. But then they look up and they see just the sky where there used to be a house. Within minutes, their neighbors had come to gather around them and to help them out of the basement.
Neighbors helping other neighbors and the first responders search for victims was a painstaking process. This devastation prompted what's believed to be the first ever non-campaign visit from the sitting president of the United States to Elkhart County 3 days later, April 14, 1965.
He stood amongst the rubble, he addressed the people that were there, gave a message of hope and encouragement. And this is also happening within the midst of people still trying to recover their lost loved ones. Very close to where LBJ spoke, for instance, there was the body of a young boy that was recovered. That would have been in the rubble when President Johnson was speaking.
The pictures coming out of this event may well be known for what happened, but the images also show, when you look at the faces, the seeds of community spirit.
There was one Red Cross worker who came to offer aid in the aftermath of the tornado, and she had worked on many other different natural disasters, but she said that specifically what she saw in Elkhart County was just far and beyond the response of other neighborhoods that she had visited that had been impacted by other storms. Coming up, how improvements in technology have changed how severe weather alerts are delivered to keep you and your family safe before and during the storm.
It really hasn't changed in the past 10 years. Okay. We chung tonight. Celebration around the world. Yeah. Ooh, ooh. I might do that after this video. I might do that. After this video, I might do that thing I want to do. Yep, I might do that right now. I might do that in a little bit. Boy, I might get copy strike for doing that, but I don't care. How much views have I got on the phone is the question.
The Palm Sunday tornado outbreak revolutionized how we track and prepare for severe weather. WXPT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot shows us how technology
I met Carrie Peugeot about 20 years ago.
60 years.
They had a Hummer 20 years ago they used.
In 1965, we didn't have a local radar. Outdoor weather sirens weren't used, and many people just didn't know where to go to be safe. In a 64-page weather survey from the National Weather Bureau at the time, they made a long list of recommendations to keep people safe in the future. One of the biggest was to make sure people could be warned as quickly as possible. In 1965,
Sirens.
the way warnings were communicated was by phone. But that day, warning everyone every time there was a new tornado became an impossible task.
There were so many tornadoes and so widespread, communications were disappearing. I put out a blanket warning for all our comments.
Now, when warnings are issued, we don't have to rely on making a bunch of phone calls, which could be very time-consuming. Technology improvements, including the internet and cell phones, allow us to get the info out almost instantly to TV, radio, phones, and community systems like sirens, all at the same time. Another goal set after the storms was to install radars. Many radars were old World War II aircraft radars, and you couldn't tell us much about the storms.
Hook echoes, you knew what they were, you didn't understand a lot of the meteorology and the science that was going on. You knew it was a warning situation though.
Doppler radar was very new technology in 1965, and even the radars that we did use, there weren't very many of them. Some states didn't even have a single one. Now there's coverage everywhere, so there are no blind spots. New radar technology is currently being developed by NOAA. It's called Phased Array Radar, and will give us much faster updates, allowing for more warning time and more specific details. Dr. Ted Fujita, who created the F-scale for rating tornadoes, did some of his research in Elkhart County.
Wow.
And some of the damage. When his research came out years later, it helped us understand what kind of damage happens with different wind speeds. This helps us now prepare for different levels of damage based on the storm's strength. With all these improvements, we still need your help. The key is being prepared. Days before
Tornado.
storms are expected, we release storm outlooks that include locations and intensity possibilities.
Yep. Remember
Playing
that?
with your family, where is the safest place in your
Basement.
house? Sometimes it's the basement. For many, it's a hallway, closet, or bathroom in the middle of the house. On the day of storms, make sure all your devices are charged or that you have power banks ready. And mostly, make sure that you have multiple ways to get warnings. You can do this with weather apps that send you alerts or by weather radio or even by making plans to get updates from your family members.
I use the weather
Palm
radio.
Sunday tornadoes are forever etched into the memories of those who survived, and those stories will continue to be passed down. That's why here at WSBT 22, we wanted to do this special report so those stories are not forgotten. And if another horrible tornado outbreak happens again, we'll be here to keep you safe. Thank you for watching. WSBT 22 News at 6 is next.
That wasn't that. Because I don't watch the news. I don't watch local news. 60 years ago, wow. And we had a couple here in Michigan, but they didn't talk about the one in Coldwater, so that sucks. I wouldn't mind going to Moscow. Moscow, Michigan. Okay, that's done with. Oh, wow. 10 months ago? I don't know when that happened. That happened. Started over here and ended in who knows where, but yeah. $7 o'clock, so something else put on? Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just a lazy day. Yeah, I wish Odin was still on there. That'd be nice if Odin was still in there. That'd be nice. You can't always get what you want, but if Odin was still in there, that'd be nice. Odin Wolf. The original Odin Wolf was on the air still. That'd be nice. I gotta move some stuff around. I gotta move some stuff around. Do some other things. I wish I still worked on YouTube. I still was a YouTuber. I make good videos. Yeah. I might get off this and do something else. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I need to change the opener. Wow, 7 years ago. I remember doing that when I was younger. I was just doing the glass elevator still. That's almost 8 years ago I did that video. Almost 8 years ago. Boris. That was old. That's old. Yeah, it's old. Yeah, I wish I could do this sort of thing, but I don't. I'd love to go to a furry convention, but that's never gonna happen anytime soon because I don't think I got the money. I don't have the money to go to one. Yeah, yeah. If I had the money for it, I'd go to one. I go to one right now. If I had the money for it, I go to one right now. If I had the money, I go to one right now. I would have went to the one in Indiana. I mean, I went to the one in Motor City, Ypsilanti. I would have went to the one in Ypsilanti. I would have. Six years ago. 6, 7, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 4, 2, 6, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Oh, that's 51. I'm just trying to make videos for you guys to watch, you guys will like. Sigh ho, do 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 do. Wish I knew I still.